Hello and welcome to Kismet Rising. Today is the 11th of November, it's 2018, and I'm recording for you a special on twin flames. The first thing I want to say before we get into twin flames is that today is also a very important day for manifestation. Okay, it's a very important day for manifestation for everything. So if you have to sit for a moment and just visualize what you'd like in the future, and think about how you would like to go about getting that, there is a good chance that your manifestation powers will come more powerfully into being than on other days. Okay, yeah, that's just a little tip for today. Aside from that, 1111 is widely known to be a twin flame portal. And as a YouTuber who's making pick a card readings, I felt that it's my responsibility to come out here and speak about twin flames and basically to bring a certain degree of clarity to twin flames, because I think that I think that there's a it's very widespread right now, and there's a kind of stream of consciousness around twin flames, which can be quite disempowering for the majority of people. And so this is what I'd like to speak about today. I just want to say that I draw my inspiration from your comments in which I've read in the comment section of my channel, and a lot of you are struggling with this, and a lot of you say, well, it's my twin flame and therefore that is what it is. It's a chasing and running game, and if only I could get them out of my mind. And I see the struggle that you are undergoing, and I know this personally as well. And so I work clairvoyantly, and I do a lot of energy work. I work as a healer, and a few years ago I was given a very clear insight on what twin flames really are. And I've since worked with various clients to help them bridge that gap and help them come to some kind of peace and harmony within their twin flame context. And so I'd like to share some of those insights that I have with you here today. So one of the first things that we understand about twin flames is that, or that people assume about twin flames rather, is that you are one soul that's split in half, or one atom that's split in half, that is apart from each other. And so you are in separation and you are seeking union. So that is the basic premise of this. One of the other premises of twin flames is that when you are in union, there will be great healing bestowed upon this world, and you will come to the greatest and most sacred divine relationship that you will have in your existence. So those are the two premises of twin flames. Now, I'd like to speak about the fallacies and what we assume, and also what resonates to be true to me in terms of the energy. With twin flames, firstly, we are souls that are part of a consciousness and part of an energy stream, okay? We have split and manifested ourselves as unique individuals in this living plane. When we split, we have not just split from one twin flame who is your own one and only. You've split from millions and billions and countless other souls, okay? So in fact, we are all part of this one whole. Every single person in this world is in fact your twin flame, all right? Because we all exist as part of this being, and that includes animals as well, and every living being and creature, not just the sentient ones, all right? So that is the first thing. Now, the second fallacy is that when you come together, there will be untold healing. Now, I want to say that there's a truth to that. all right? Because the vibration of love that is experienced when you are in what people assume to be a twin flame relationship is an extraordinary vibration. It's like an atom bomb that goes off, but of healing, spreading healing energies. And it's much more powerful than that. So when you are, when you, when you, when you have that, there is healing that comes into this world, but it does not require union. Yeah, it does not require you and your twin flame love, who you believe to be your twin flame, to come together in union to experience this. This is something that you can, in your love for this person, experience within yourself. And as you experience this, it touches every single one of us. It impacts every single one of us positively. Okay. Now, I'm sure you're disagreeing with me vehemently at this point because I've said that every single person out there is your twin flame. And I'm sure that most of you are not excited about what I've just said. So I want to go on about that. I want to say that, there are various different types of relationships in this world. Okay. Twin flame relationships do exist. All right, but not in the context in which you understand it. And so do karmic relationships, and so do soulmate relationships, and so are there myriad forms of divine connections that you feel with a loved one. That is not a twin flame relationship that many of you are also experiencing, okay? And many of us are also experiencing. Now, what do I want to say about this? Well, the thing about twin flames is that we recognize them when they're running away, when there's this push and pull, when you feel this context, this you feel this so deep in your being, you feel this connection so powerfully that it moves you, that you dream about this person, that you cannot stop thinking about this person. You cannot go on a moment in your existence without this person coming into your thoughts. You have a telepathic connection with this person. Yeah, you have an untold, immense connection with this person. And where does this come from? Well, this is something that people have experienced through the ages. But in the last 25 years or so, in our time frames here on the planet, a veil has been uncovered in which we are able to experience more of these type of connections. Now, I'm not saying that twin flame relationships do not exist. I just want to clarify exactly what twin flames are for you, because I think a lot of people are confused about that. Okay, and so what happened is that a lot of you are feeling this divine telepathic connection with somebody, and your life has changed from the moment that you've met them. From the moment that you met them, it was like a huge wash of energy went over you, and you experienced something that's completely different, and you cannot turn back the clock on that. You are changed forever. You cannot go back and be somebody else, because it's not possible anymore. Okay, and in this context, this person has impacted you in such a powerful way, and they have come into your life and changed you in a remarkable fashion, and they are very important in your life. Okay, but this does not mean that you will necessarily come into union with this person. This does not necessarily mean that you got to wait for this person. This does not necessarily mean that you have to tolerate this person when they are treating you poorly, or if they've been not responding to your messages, etc. You, as a divine being in yourself, need to be able to respect yourself and to be able to say to yourself, well, this person has now run away and they are not part of my existence at this moment. Yes, I feel them, I breathe them, I dream about them. They constantly are alive in my universe, and I cannot separate myself from it. But you need to be able to respect that they have at this point chosen to walk away. Okay, and when you give them that respect, when you can accord this person that respect, that is the twin flame love. Okay, so the fact that you can actually experience this love unconditionally and feel it in every part of your being and love this person without criticizing them, without judging them, yeah, and also not tolerate the way they treat you. Also have firm boundaries with regard to them and with regard to the respect that you have for yourself. Yeah. I'm not talking about ignoring them. I'm not talking about pulling back. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about you say that you have this love, that that person's your twin flame. Well, go into your love. Experience the love that you have for this person. Feel that love and stop waiting for this person to come to you and to form a union with you so that you can be complete. Because you are complete as you are right now. You can feel this twin flame love as you are right now. And your love is as powerful as you think it is and as immensely magnanimous as you believe your twin flame union will be. You have this already right now. It's a matter of you being able to access this. Okay? It's a matter of you being able to tap into that energy. And the way in which you can go about doing that is by loving without judging, is by loving without criticizing. Okay? Now, I hear you. This person's hurt you. They've been awful. You're wounded from this experience. Yeah. How are you going to overcome that? Well, that is something that you have a responsibility towards yourself. Yeah. They are not going to be part of that healing. They're not going to come there and say, I'm sorry for the way I've treated you. I've treated you appallingly, dismally, and I'm sorry for that. And I'm going to take this responsibility for that. And I'm going to understand what I've done to you. And you know what? We're going to go out and we're going to fulfill this relationship and this love that we have. And we're actually going to come together into union. This is going to happen maybe in about 0.0000001% of people. Okay? And I'm being literal when I say that. I'm not exaggerating. So what do you have to do? You've been wounded by this person. You can't stop thinking about them. What do you have to do? You need to take back your life. And I'm not saying you've got to then forget about your twin flame. All right? I'm not saying you've got to forget about this person that you love so intensely and so deeply and with all of your being and all of your soul and everything that ever existed eternally. I'm not saying that you've got to stop loving this person. In fact, the key to this experience is to love them even more, but to completely refine and hone in on what love is. Okay, and what is it? It is, as I've mentioned a couple of minutes ago, it is unconditional. It is loving that person no matter what. But that does not mean that you need to tolerate that person no matter what. Okay? If that person is coming into your life and leaving, and coming back into your life and leaving because they cannot stay away from you because the connection is so powerful, and this harms you, this hurts you and disturbs you, and leaves you disheveled every time they come in and leave again, then you need to address that. You need to be able to say, well, that's something I can't manage, and this is the impact that's having on me. And you need to be able to manage that from a rational and responsible point of view in terms of setting your boundaries. This does not mean, once again, that you don't love this person. And this is not stopping you from coming into union with this person. Let me be clear here. If you have to be in union with somebody, there's nothing that's going to stop you. If that person wants truly to be with you 100%, as you believe that they want to be with you, they will move heaven and earth to be with you. But at this moment, they may feel the connection. They may be aware of this connection. It may be something that they're afraid of, but they are not taking the action. For those of you who are in so-called separation, they are not taking the action to come towards you and be with you. And this is where come back to the question of respect. This is about something you need to respect that. You need to be able to say, well, they've chosen not to be with me right now. I'm going to trust that that is what needs to be at this moment. I'm going to trust and have faith that the way it is right now is okay. And there is something that I can learn and can draw from this as well. As I would draw from being in a twin flame union, I can draw from being in a twin flame separation. And in this moment, you begin to empower yourself. Because the problem that we have right now is that there's a whole generation of people, okay, not just in a particular age group, but there's a whole stream of people who are going about completely disempowered by this energy that has come here to help us heal, that has come here to help us shift the vibration, that has come here to increase the vibrational frequency of this planet. You cannot allow this to be, because when you are afflicted by this, when you are devastated by this connection, you are working against the connection. You are in a vibration of hurt, of being wounded, and being a victim of this person's behavior. And that is the energy that you are emanating and putting out there. And as long as you continue to put that energy out there, that is the energy and that is the experience that you will create for yourself. Okay, so you need to stop that right now. Okay, and this is extremely difficult. This requires you taking some time to think about how you're going to stop it, being very observant of your thoughts and your processes that take place in your mind and how you gravitate in a particular direction. Okay, stepping out of the stream, which encourages this. So there's people that have built their lives and their professions and their channels on encouraging this, this twin flame relationship, and really saying, oh well, he's coming and he's going to be there, or she's going to be there, and she loves you, and yes and yes and yes. And when you're part of this stream, okay, you are doing yourself a disservice. You are disempowering yourself. I'm not saying to you don't go and do pick a card readings, all right? I'm saying to you, when you do your pick a card readings, recognize that it's entertainment to a large extent, and that you're using it to be able to bridge the gap and the emptiness that you're feeling by not being with that person and being able to do nothing about it, all right? But recognize it for what it is, so that you can actually step off on a space of being empowered and actually just go on and do something for your life, all right? Because what's happened is that it's stagnant. There's a stream of people who believe in twin flames, who are madly in love with their twin flames, who are completely wounded, completely devastated, and stagnant. Okay, so how is that going to help shift anything? How is that going to help raise the vibration of this planet? How is that going to help you be in union? How is that going to help you at all? This is the question that you need to ask yourself, all right? You need to step out of the stream. You need to be able to look at yourself and look at the way you've been behaving with this twin flame relationship, and say to yourself, well, is this okay? Is this empowering me? Or is it debilitating me? Because I'm afraid that so many of you are debilitated by this. If you sit there and you think to yourself, well, we are torn from each other and we seek to be with each other, and we cannot help it. We have no free will. We cannot help it. We are sucked into this. Then what you're doing in that moment is you're giving up your responsibility and your agency to be able to effect change in your life, and to be able to empower yourself, and to be able to live in a responsible manner. Okay? And when you do this, there's a payoff to that. Yeah, you don't need to do anything about it. You can constantly have this idea, this fantasy, and work in this. I'm not saying that your connection is a fantasy. That is very real. But this idea that you got to work towards this twin flame union, and such hard work, and that you got to put up with their running and be this chaser, or vice versa, is extraordinarily debilitating and is not helping you, or nor is it helping anyone else. You got to recognize that you're a divine being, complete with or without your twin flame or soulmate or karmic relationship. Yeah, without any love, without any other lover, you are complete. And when you recognize that, then you understand your divinity. And when you understand your divinity, you recognize that you can create whatever you want in this life, and you're not beholden to union. And you're not beholden to that phone call, and you're not beholden to receiving a text from them or hoping that they look your way at all. You are then in completeness with yourself, standing within yourself, within your own level of empowerment, being able to create whatever you want to in your life, being a master manifester in your life, and being able to tap into the divine consciousness and divine stream of love. Yeah? Not the divine stream of lack, which unfortunately a lot of twin flame situations bring into this world, and therefore are working against the hiring of the planetary vibration. Okay? Your twin flame is part of your soul tribe, all right? You attract each other because you're sending out a particular vibration in your life that requires assistance and growth in a particular area of your life. So the other thing about this whole twin flame stream is that it requires you to work extensively on yourself. It requires you to go deep within to be able to access your intuitive abilities, to be able to access your power from deep within you. All right. And so the point with that is that you're going to attract, when your souls recognize that they are actually willing to take this journey, you're going to attract a twin flame into your life. When you need to change something so radically in your life because you need to shift your life to be able to align with your soul purpose, this is when you will attract your twin flame into your life. And your twin flame will therefore come into your life and come there and show you where it is that you need to love yourself more. Where is it that you need to respect yourself more? And they'll show you this by disrespecting you. They will show you this by treating you so awfully that no one else has ever treated you that way. And you would never have put up with anyone else treating you in that way. But you do it with this person because this love that you feel, this divine connection that you feel, you have never felt this with anyone before. And so you are thinking, my God, this is the one. And then that person comes and runs roughshod over you. And you are thinking, oh my goodness, I've got to accept this. I've got to, what can I do? This person loves me. I love them. I feel it. But what they're teaching you is to say to them, no, you cannot treat me in this way. No, I'm a divine being like you. You need to love me and respect me. You need to be able to control and discipline your impulses around your twin flame to be able to pause and regain your power and regain your strength and to be at one with yourself. Yeah, the energy that most of you have is that you're coming out of yourself. If this is you, yeah, you're coming out of yourself and you're gone. You're gone. You've evacuated yourself. Yeah, and you're gone and you are with them and you're living with them in their bubble. Okay, and what you're doing in that moment is you're feeding them. Yeah, they're able to do so much more in their lives because you're feeding them. But at the same time, because this energy is actually not it's not really okay to have this energy. It's not really okay. It's an imbalance, yeah, because you're supposed to be in yourself. They're supposed to be in their selves. But you are coming out of yourself to support them. They feel this imbalance. And it doesn't help their healing. It doesn't help them come to a place where they can be in union with you sooner. It actually works against them because they feel a great deal of guilt and they cannot understand what this foreign influences is. Yeah, and they cannot understand why it overpowers them or why it has such an impact in their lives. What you need to do is return to yourself. Yeah, you need to return to yourself and love them and be all in this love that you have for them. And let them be who they are. Let them be who they are. You've been brainwashed into thinking that you need to be in union with this person. You don't need to be in union with this person to feel this love. Of course, it would be the most amazing thing. Of course, it would be absolutely wonderful. But is it going to happen? Be honest with yourself. Be honest with yourself. Really, is it actually going to happen? And then let go of it. Because if it is going to happen, it'll find a way to happen. Okay? Without you running after this person, without you pulling towards this person. Because the vibration that you're sending off as you're thinking about this person constantly is not, well, I want to be in union with you. It's more like I want, I need, and I lack you. And therefore, you constantly repeat this energy in your life. But if you had to just let go, and I know this is extraordinarily difficult, but if you had to concentrate very intensely on other things in your life, you will find that your situation starts shifting rapidly, really, really rapidly. But you have to focus on something else in your life. You have to spend all your time and energy focusing on other areas of your life and not pay attention to them. Yeah, and I know they'll come into your mind, but you have to train yourself to do that. And then you will see that the situation shifts rapidly, and you will find that the healing takes place on a lower level. Right now, it's like watching the kettle, as the saying goes. Are you sitting there and watching the kettle boil? And it's going to take longer. You need to let the kettle boil, go and focus on other things. And then when you come back to the kitchen, you're going to see that the water has boiled and that what you've been desiring has actually come to fruition, or what your soul believes is for your highest good is actually going to come to your fruition here. And you need to be able to trust in that, because this is what's vital. And this is where the love comes in. Love is intricately linked to trust and to faith and to the belief that all shall be well. You need to be able to go back and focus in your own life, like turn the spotlight back on yourself, but full on, and give yourself everything that you would like them to give you. Treat yourself, behave as if you are in this twin flame union already, and be the self that you would be when you are in this twin flame. When you actually have this energy where you are, with your twin flame, and you're thinking about your twin flame, not with your twin flame, but your energy is with the twin flame, and you're thinking about them all the time, it creates a low level of anxiety within yourself, and you are in a sense of you not being grounded, okay? Because you're not completely linked into the earth. You're floating. Yeah, you need to be grounded. You need to earth yourself. And the problem with this is that it causes illness in your life. All right? So please be aware of that, because it can cause despondency. It can lead to depression. It can cause actual physical illness in your life. Okay? And this is something that you need to be completely aware of, because it's so powerful. It comes into your life and it can either make you or break you. But the choice is yours. All right? The last point I want to make on this is that gratitude. Gratitude for all that you are and all that you have in your life. Okay? Do you have both your eyes? Can you see with both your eyes? Do you have your nose? Are you able to breathe? Is your heart beating at this moment? Oh, then you have something to be grateful for. So go back into that and feel that. Feel that with all the power that you have. Transport this energy that you have, that you've focused on towards your twin flame, and direct it towards yourself, and bring it together with gratitude for all that you have in your life. And this is going to be a powerful, extraordinary influence in your life. Not only are you going to be able to grow in huge ways that you hadn't imagined that you would grow or didn't think that you needed to grow, you will also find that you will be able to manifest a lot in your life very easily, because you will be one with this energy that enables things to manifest, that enables things to come into being. Okay, so yeah, I hope that this has not been too dense for you. I hope that I've been clear enough, and that I hope that this has helped you. Basically, I hope that this has actually given you something that you needed. If you would like to talk about this, you please comment on make a comment in the comment section. Alternatively, also you can. I was thinking of perhaps doing a live feed to celebrate 1,000 subscribers. Thank you all very much. So I was thinking of doing a live feed where we can talk about this specifically, or you can actually talk about anything with regard to me. I work clairvoyantly, so I would be able to tune into your energy immediately and be able to answer a myriad of questions. And I was thinking of doing something like this. I have to set up the live feed or stream, which I haven't done as yet. And I've only just really began working on this channel a few weeks ago, and it's grown very fast. And so There's a lot more that I still want to do. But one of the other things I want to mention is that I would like to do other types of readings, looking at political issues or looking at other types of current affairs issues, and just analyzing them as well. And so look out for that. I'll probably start doing that in a couple of weeks from now. And that is something that I'm sure some of you, at least some of you, would find interesting. I certainly do. And it would be nice to do it and share it with you as well. So, okay, so I'm going to quickly do a quick reading for what people who are in twin flame situations need to hear. Okay, so I'm just going to quickly shuffle. And we're asking, what is it that all of those people who are watching this video need to hear about their twin flame at this given moment? What do they need to hear about what they need to do with regard to their twin flame? What do they need to hear on this day? And this is timeless. This video is timeless. You can listen to it and watch this anytime. And when you watch it, the card should resonate with you. Well, I hope it does. And if it doesn't, well, it doesn't. Okay, so... Okay, so the card was in reverse, okay, and it's this card here. All right, so it's the Five of Swords in reverse. And what I want to say is that what they're saying to you is that the time, oh, this is so relevant, this is actually what I've been speaking about. The time, look, if you look at this, yeah, she has a sword in her hand. Can you, I don't know if you can see that. Oh, there, maybe that's better. She has a sword in her hand. He's bruised. She's waiting for him to return so that she can actually tell him how much he's hurt her. And it wasn't reversed. The time for that is over. Okay? The time for the vindictiveness, the difficulty, for sharing your pain with them is over. Yes, they've hurt you and intensely. Yes, they've hurt you so deeply. But the time for that type of behavior, it has to stop. You know, you have to stop saying, okay, I'm not going to contact this person anymore. I'm going to pull back now. I'm going to do this. If that person has not contacted you in a while and they haven't responded to your messages, then by all means, stop contacting them, because they obviously don't want to be in contact with you. Okay? Recognize that. Come to terms with that. That's not easy to bear, but please accept that. But if they are in contact with you and they come back to you and they cannot stay away from you because they love you so much, refrain from hurting them. Yeah? Refrain from actually giving them this, taking your frustration out on them. Telling them that, well, you know, I'm angry with you because of what you've done. And I'm going to harbor this resentment in me, and I'm going to harbor this pain, and I'm not going to get over it, because you know why? I know you're going to do it again. You're going to leave and you're going to come back again, and it's going to create this over and over again. Okay? For those of you who don't have people leaving and coming back all the time, this also resonates, because these emotions are in your mind. Yeah? These emotions here are in your mind. You are thinking about this. You are not over the fact that you've hurt them. And that is actually one of the biggest challenges with the twin flame relationship, you know. You actually are sort of drawn out to be the highest, the best that you can be within a situation. You have the option of the lower vibrations and the lower energies, and behaving in the manner that is directly a result of your emotions or your reaction towards the situation. And then you have the other aspect, which is basically saying, well, I can actually do better here. Yes, I'm in pain, and yes, I'm hurt, but I'm going to heal myself. I'm going to take responsibility for my own feelings and my own reactions. I'm not going to lay on that person my feelings and my reactions. I'm going to speak to them rationally, either through a meditation or either just, you know, telepathically or directly, and say to them how what their actions were made me feel. but I'm not going to blame them. I'm not going to blame them for, for the way I feel. The way I feel is my responsibility, and I have to take responsibility for that. I have to deal with the way I feel. Okay, and that's where your point of learning begins, and that's where your point of growth begins. And yes, yes, the fact that they've behaved in that way, it's their business. Yes, they've done this to you, but you are still responsible for taking care of your emotional well-being. All right, and giving up the I don't want to say it's maliciousness, because I don't believe that you feel maliciousness towards them, but it's almost like it's this vicious kind of behavior that you want to hurt them because they've hurt you. You want to get back at them. Or even if you don't want to get back at them, you want them to know that they've hurt you. And that is an absolutely rational and reasonable request. But can you check yourself as you go about that, so that you are not laying the blame on them, that you're not causing them to feel guilt, because that should not be your starting point, or that should not be the point from which you set off, because that's not going to help anything. But what I'm seeing, and I asked the question, like, what do we need to know, what do we need to do, but what I'm hearing is that this is what's going to happen now. Yeah, we're shifting into a new space where there's going to be less of this kind of antagonism towards each other. Yes, just kind of working through and healing the pain that you have with each other. And that's going to be a big relief, because the last 3 to 5 years have been very much about hurting one another. It's been very much about not being able to, not wanting to hurt one another, but actually just somehow finding a way to hurt one another and misunderstanding each other, and just finding yourself in situations where you don't actually know how to come to each other at all, and that you just mess up the situation, like you just kind of cross two ships crossing the dark, or you're not able to kind of come together and just be together as friends or as lovers or as twin flames or whatever it is. So I think that is the end of that energy where you keep missing each other. I think what's going to happen now is that you are going to find a way to be able to stop that at the very least. Okay, so yeah, I'd just like to say thank you if you've come this far in this video, and if you've listened to all of this. And I hope once again that this has been of some value to you. And yes, and thank you so much for coming by, and for subscribing and for commenting. And yes, I really appreciate it. And I hope that we can form a community where we can empower ourselves and heal ourselves, and in doing so, heal the planet as well. Okay, so much love and blessings abound.